up, and
What's
welcome
up?
back to another episode of the Talk of the Ring Show. You have your host,
Sabrina, and you have your host,
Harley, this
that
side,
way.
yep. And on Sabrina, do you want to introduce her?
Please do. You can do it. I'll do it this afternoon. You can do it today.
And on today's episode, we have our first UK guest. Welcome, Annabelle.
Hiya.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
We're good. I think we're good.
I don't know. It's a little. I just had my coffee, guys. The coffee hasn't even kicked in yet, to be honest with you.
No, but so obviously we've never seen you wrestle because you're on the other part of the world. But how does it feel like wrestling as a 16-year-old?
It's crazy. Like, I started at 8, so it's not as crazy as then, but it's honestly great.
No, yeah, because here you have to be 18 in order
You
to
do.
wrestle. So it's like,
Yeah.
that's great. It gives you a long time to like get into business and gives you more time to like get into like the bigger shows if that's what you'd want to do.
Yeah, it does.
Well, I said to Harley, I said, like, because Harley's going to be 16 soon. And I said,
Yeah.
Harley, see, look, you can just go across the country and become a wrestler. Like,
You
you don't have to
literally
wait. So, like, what got you into, like, wanting to do this as
I
wrestling?
used to just watch it with my brother. I used to watch WWE with him, and then I watched it live in Great Yarmouth. And it was the company that I'm working for today. And I was like begging my mum, I was like, oh, please, can I go? And it took her, I was 7 at that time. So she was obviously like, a 7-year-old wrestling? No. But eventually she was like, okay, you can try it. And it was great.
I mean, it helps you because, like, being a female, you have to, like, have ways of defending yourself, you know? Even if it's not, like, 100% realistic, you know how to beat the shit out of someone.
Yeah.
But, so who, like, you were mentioning the, like, place that you're at now, but who, like, trained you?
So for my trainers, I had Soraya Knight, who has trained me, obviously, 8 years now. Zach Knight, Jason Cross, Ben, and yeah, they're really good.
So we got my dad.
Yeah.
My
So
dad's
you're good.
chanting your name. It says, hey, ladies. But go ahead, Sabrina, take the stand.
So, like, obviously, you've trained with a few people. Like, is there different training styles with each person? Like, have you picked up on different things from each person?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different training styles. So when I train with Jason Cross, there's a lot of British tech, which is really good to know, which I mainly like to use in my matches. So, and then when I'm with Soraya Knight, there's still a lot of British tech, but there's a lot of violence added in with it as well, which definitely I took that in as well.
100%. Do you think there will be a time like when you turn 18, you'll be like, I'm going to travel to America and wrestle there? Do you think that's going to be?
That is the plan. As soon as I finish college, I really want to go to America and wrestle. So
there's a lot of great indie shows in Pennsylvania, so I think make that your first stop.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's crazy how much indie shows are in PA. Like, I didn't know. Like, when I started coming back to wrestling, I was like, oh, there's a show here, there's a show there. Like, there's a show all the time. So it's crazy. So is that like something how English? Is that how it is where you are too? Like, is there like constantly shows going on, or is it like a once in a month thing?
Yeah, there's loads of shows going on with my company that I'm working with, which is World Association of Wrestling. There's like quite a few. I think there's like 3 to 4 shows a month. Wow. And around us as well, there's quite a lot of other companies around which do similar.
That's great. Yeah, it gives you like different views on wrestling and different people to work with.
It does.
So obviously, because we've never seen you, are you a heel or are you a face?
I'm kind of in between at this point. I think I'm leaning more to face now. I was heel for a very long time, but it kind of depends who I'm against. Yeah. And yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards face now. So
well, Sabrina's the heel, so
I know I'm like a fan of heels, so that's why she also asks that question. I just think that like it depends, like, because some people love the heel because they love to be like come out and be a badass in the ring and like really not care, and then a face, it's like they like to be liked by the fans. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like you don't really know. But like, which would you prefer to be?
I don't know, because I kind of like being in the middle, because whereas I can kind of walk out and I kind of interact with some of the crowd members to keep them kind of warming up in when I get in the ring.
Yeah.
I also can just kind of focus on the character with obviously being said doll. I
Yeah,
kind
no.
of sit
Yeah.
silently and just indulge in the noise and stuff. It's great.
It makes sense. Is there anything that you do before you come out those curtains? Is there like a warm up process? Or is it just like go for it?
Yeah, usually we do basic like stretching, because obviously if I get in there and pull a muscle, that's not going to be too pleasant. But yeah, not really. Like, I'll try eat something before I go out, because also not a great idea. But yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
stretching, eat, and just talking to most of the wrestlers back there.
My dad goes and says, he goes, are there videos where we can watch your wrestling matches?
Yeah, I have. Sometimes I post highlights on my Instagram, but I have a YouTube channel, which is, I think it's just Annabelle Wrestling, and it has like the full matches.
There you go. Sabrina, are you awake?
I was looking it up. Sorry, I was looking up the YouTube thing. I like to have it like bookmarked. So, like if I don't bookmark it now, I'm gonna forget later, and it's just crazy. But being in college while you're doing wrestling, like, do a lot of your college friends like know what you do, and like how do they feel about it? Like, do they think you're like a badass? Because I would.
Yeah, the thing is, when I do photography as well, and I thought for my project with photography and textiles, I have been doing wrestling for it. So I had to go into college in my wrestling gear and makeup. And yeah, so my friends saw that and were like, interesting. But yeah, my photography teacher was just, he was the one who was like, yeah, you have to come in wrestling gear and do a photo shoot. And I'm like, I do.
You're like, okay, I guess so.
But yeah.
Do you think there's ever like do you feel there's a time that sometimes you get like lowered because you're younger than other wrestlers, or is it just like you're like everyone else, if that makes sense?
I feel like when I'm there, it feels like I'm like everyone else. They very much make you feel like you're the same age. And also, I have a few other people there who are literally the same age as me as well, which is great. It's that there is loads. But yeah, so I feel perfectly fine there, and it's great.
No, yeah, I think it's great that, the UK does that, because in here we wait till they're 18 and then we just see them like brand new. But like with you starting at 8, they've literally seen you grow up, so it's different for them. As for here, they're just training and then we just see them debut and we're like, who the heck is this person? But with you, it's a process. So I think that's a good thing about the UK.
Yeah.
Everything's different everywhere else. I'm telling you. But like, so I don't, because I know here, like they try to put like men against men, women against women. Like, is that something that they do over there, or do you wrestle men as well?
We had a show where it was crowd picks who you go against. So we had raffle tickets and we were given like a number each. And I went against Steve Quintain, who has been wrestling for so long, and he's really good. And it was actually a really good match. And in Rumbles, we go against men as well. So
I really like that idea with the raffles.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, like for sure. You never know who you're going against.
yeah, right. And then you just figure it out there. That's great. It leaves the crowd on their feet.
It does. It gives you opportunities, because obviously there is a limited amount of females that we have in our company, and we're getting more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so instead of wrestling the same people often, we get a chance to wrestle other people as well, which is really good.
That's great.
And I feel like that's like a running across the board kind of thing with wrestling, is like there's not a lot of girl wrestlers, especially in indie wrestling, because it's just like it's really hard. Like I know where we're from here in PA, we go to this one called PPW, and there's not a lot of girls on the roster. There's a lot of guys, but there's maybe like one or two, would you say, Harley, on the roster that's really there. So it's crazy because it's like I would love to see more women in the wrestling industry.
Yeah.
Like overpower the men. Come on now. Let's do this.
Let's see. So my dad goes and says, I'm watching the match between you and Jen, and I like the belt plus your dark attire.
Oh, there it is.
I think the first person to actually bring their title on here. We're always like, come prepared, and then they never have the title. I'm like, that's
Oh,
the reason you're on.
I think it's just funny because, like you said, Harley, like we haven't had a lot of people like come on with their belts, but also we haven't had anybody from the United States. So when she said this to me, I was like, Harley, this is branching out for sure for us because like we're so used to sticking to like PA, New Jersey, New
yeah.
York. So like doing this is like it's wild, but I'm excited because like then it's like we get to know who you are, and then when you come to the United States and people are like, oh my gosh, Annabelle will be like, yeah, we already know who she is. So it's pretty good.
Like sarcasm. Yeah, we already know who she is. She's great. She's gonna kick some ass. But no, yeah, definitely. So what would you say is like the hardest part of wrestling for you?
Oh, okay. When I first started, like the hardest part was actually like having the confidence to go out there.
Yeah, definitely.
But one of the things I say that I kind of dislike when it comes to wrestling is the messages you get, and especially because I started when I was really young. I'm still classed as underage.
Yeah.
Very.
There
most
could be some of those people. I mean, there's a lot of them in Pennsylvania that I could name, but I'm not going to name. Not today. But
We're
no,
not
I
name
think
dropping today.
no.
not yet. But no, there's that. I think that's like another hard thing of being a female and like a wrestler. It's like you have to watch what you do and what you post because there's gonna be those weirdos that say whatever they want to say. So that's obviously the hardest part for you. But what would you say is like your favorite or easiest part?
Favorite part. I feel like the whole thing's just really great. I feel like there's just like the wrestling and like trying new things and adding new things in my matches each time. Like I've tried jumping off top ropes now. I'm getting there. Not a massive fan on heights, but
Maybe
yeah,
one day.
yeah, I do it almost now, which is insane. So I didn't really like heights, but now it's actually kind of growing on me, which is quite cool, which I like.
Now, like, what's some advice that you'd give someone that's like looking up to you because you're so young, like looking up to you and going, I want to be like her? Like, what's some advice you'd give them if they want to get into this industry?
I would just say go for it because I remember there's a lot of people who think they about wrestling, and because of the age wise, I think, like I said, the comments, how people view them and stuff, and think they can't do it because of how old they are. I say just go for it because I started and everyone treats you not as if you're really young, which is really good. They treat you as if you're just another wrestler there, which is awesome, and it's how you want to be treated when you're this age.
No, yeah, exactly. Because in Pennsylvania, we have this little boy that we all cherish, and we bring him up every single time. His name is Gavin, and
I
he
love
always,
that little boy.
I think he's probably 8, so probably he's 8, right? I think.
I think so. I would have to look
But
online.
so he's like your age, like when you first started. So if that's something that he'd want to do, take Annabelle's advice, do it. But I know now him just being 8, even without wrestling, he's a crowd favorite. So he's
Yeah,
dressing up. He's adorable.
Yeah, like he makes these like drawings of all the wrestlers and like he'll give it's like a big poster too and he'll give it to you guys
oh,
and he'll dress up as all these like wrestlers and it's like the personality that this little boy brings while dressed in his like wrestling attire for the day, he acts like the character. He like absorbs the lines from WWE. Like he is so intelligent and I'm sitting here going like I can't even remember like anything. But this little boy can remember something that like Randy Orton said like back in 2000. I'm like, what? How are you doing this right now?
No, but yeah, he's being young and being in the industry. I think is good because it makes your character form. But like we said, there are those times that you're like, I don't want to do this right now. But obviously, since you're so young, do you think there's gonna be a time like long down the road that you're like, okay, I'm done wrestling, or is it gonna be like an injury thing?
for me, I think if I was to get out of wrestling, it would be injury because, like I said, I want to go to America hopefully when I get older. So I've got to wait a few more years. It's only I think like 2, 3 more years before I want to try get out there. and yeah, I don't think I would leave it for any other reason. I think injury is what's gonna I hate to say it, but yeah, I don't want to get injured, but
No, I think that's the good way.
And it's
Sabrina.
crazy. Like I'm literally visualizing like her coming to the United States and like who like the matches I would love to see her in. Like isn't that like weird? Like I'm sitting here going like, yeah, this person from America could probably like she could probably take them like 100%. And it's crazy because when people hear that you're like 16, first of all, can we just say I feel very old. Okay, I'm 27. So like when I saw how old you were, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be the oldest person on this podcast, which never happens. Harley knows this. It never happens. So, but like, I literally can't wait for you to come to the US, and I'm just happy that you're doing what you want in your dreams because listen, you have more confidence than I have for sure.
So, do you sell any merch that people can buy, or is it more like at the shows?
I don't have any personally, but at the WWE shows that we have, they have a clothing area where they sell loads of different merch and posters and pretty much anything. And over Christmas, I think a year ago, they had a wall ball with my face in, and it was great. I got my mum it for Christmas.
That's perfect. Sabrina?
I'm sorry, Sabrina. Sabrina is just a little wonky right now. Like, is there like a dream place that you would love to wrestle? Like like a dream arena or anything?
WWE. I'm gonna say that's where I want to go.
For sure. Like I'll be honest with you. Harley is one who watches WWE mostly in this podcast because we have WWE, but then we have AEW. And I'm more of that than
Yeah.
WWE. But I mean, hey, gotta give respect to it. Like I think that you could definitely be big on WWE. Like I would love to see her against Mickey James.
Oh my,
Yeah, I would love that. That would be so cool.
I was like trying to think of the wrestlers I know from WWE, Harley, because
like what?
I'm very old school. Like I know Kelly, like Mickey James, like the older girls. Where it's like now it's like when people say like, oh, like Alexa Bliss, I'm like, who? However, I will say that you do remind me of her because like I saw some of your like Instagram posts and like the darker times, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's like the spitting image of Alexa Bliss. So like when you were coming up with your character, like how did you come up with it? Like how did you say like this is what my name's going to be, this is what my attire is going to be?
Okay, so Annabelle first came around 7 years ago. So it basically, I used to, because I was really tiny and I would compare to a doll quite a lot because how I used to have my hair, it was in really tight curls. Yeah, I'd get compared to a doll a lot. And then one day my coach, who's Saray Knight, she came up with the name Annabelle based off the horror movie character, which was... Okay. And then my dad came up with the idea of me actually coming out with a doll, which was dropped I think it was dropped about 2 years ago. But it's still, yeah, I became the doll instead of coming out with a doll.
I love that. I love that idea. It's scary. It's different from what we have here.
Yeah.
It's like Alexa Bliss.
Oh, 100%. And it's funny because like she just brought out that doll and like I just have a creepy likeness for doll. Like dolls creep me out. So like that is just showing it to the camera like I gotta go. But like yeah, it's definitely different because like here you don't see a lot of like dark and like creepy characters like Annabelle is, you know what I mean? So it's like
yeah.
That's great. I love it. I love it. It's amazing. Go ahead, Harley. You have the questions. I don't have questions.
Sometimes we get through these episodes a lot quicker because we get through the questions. But where can people find you as shows, social media, wherever?
So the shows are in Norwich, England, at the World Association of Wrestling. So there's social for that, which is WW, and we have Bellatrix Female Warriors. My socials I have on Instagram. I have TikTok now, which It actually, yeah, I feel like TikTok is one of the best apps to actually get you noticed, which is really strange because, yeah, there's a lot of younger audiences on there as well.
Definitely.
Well, so.
Oh yeah, and like you reach people like everywhere, and it's crazy because like
Yeah,
especially with a wrestler, you know, you can like interact with your fans more. They can like duet your videos if
yeah,
they really want to. Like it's crazy. It's crazy what you can do with it.
yeah. I have had someone duet one of my videos, and it was not in a very pleasant way, but yeah,
It's always a gander when you post something out there. So it's like,
yeah,
what's gonna happen? And
it really is.
100%. Before we wrap this up, Sabrina, who do you think, like in the indies here, who do you think she would be good going against? Female
oh
or male?
Lord, here, oh man, because I think that they would make a really good vibe in the ring. I think I'm gonna have to go with, even though we say she's overrated, I'm gonna have to say Danny Mo.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna say that. I think Danny Mo, she's good, but I think Cosmic would go great because they're both like fairly not new. You both have like a lot of different training styles and techniques, so I think
Mm-hmm.
y'all would work really great together. So hopefully, you never know what's gonna happen when you come to America. I guess we'll see what happens.
We will.
But my dad goes and says, I would like to see Annabelle come out with Alexa Bliss. She can be the adult version of the doll. That'd be
Could you
so great.
imagine Alexa Bliss just like carrying out Annabelle, going, "This is my doll."
People used to say they wanted to do that. There was a few people who said they want to come out holding me how I used to hold my doll, and I was just like,
Oh my god.
yeah, it
Oh,
was
your
really.
dad asked another question. Then when we get a chance.
He says, what's your favorite style of wrestling?
I have to say British tech. It's probably like the one that I've practiced the most over the years, and I feel like you can go on and on wrestling literally hours with it. So it never gets bored.
100%. I don't know. I know Sabrina said about like a dream place, but is there like a dream opponent?
A dream opponent. I'd have to say Saraya, as in Paige, who was in WWE, but she's Saraya now. I feel like that I couldn't miss that opportunity.
I love her. She
Yeah,
was always one of my favorites.
she's one of those dark people that like I love to watch, because like when she first came out, she was kind of like you didn't know how to take her. You're like, is she a face? Is she a heel? Like what's going on? And then, but I think that also gave a lot of the people that aren't in the United States like hope, like, oh, I can become on WWE because like of how she was, you know, like she had like that thick accent, and I just loved hearing her talk. So I mean, she gives hope to a lot of girls, so that's great. I love that for her.
So my dad basically asked, "What is it?" Basically, I'm gonna reword that. Is there like, could you ever see yourself in a match like hardcore with like tables and all that crazy stuff, or you're more like, no, let's leave that to them?
Personally, I actually think that would be quite a fun match. Like to some extent, like when it gets to like thumbtacks on the floor, I'm like, no, thank you. I do fancy slammed onto thumbtacks because that doesn't seem very fun. But table chairs, kendo sticks. When I'm older,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
I feel like because you're so young, like you have like it's good because like you have all this time to just like really perfect things and learn, and especially like because you have so much to learn. Like there's so many styles that I'm sure that even us here haven't even learned. Like it's a never ending learning process. So that's always exciting. So I can't wait to see where your wrestling career takes you for sure. Cause I can feel like you're gonna be big one day for sure.
So we've said, like you said, when you first started, your mom was like, don't do it. And then she let you do it. How do they feel like actually watching you in these matches? Are they like, oh my God, is she okay?
Yeah, many times I've finished a match after, and there has been moves that I've done, and my mom was like, yeah, she was like, I do not want to see that again. She's like, that was so scary. And I'm like, I'm good. But my dad's fine with it. He watches it and he's like, yeah, this is fine. Like he doesn't get scared or anything. But my mum jumps and gets scared over everything. So she's all for horror.
Sabrina, got anything else?
I honestly do not. Like I'm just excited to see where her career takes her. I'm excited.
Me too. I mean, like I said, you're young, so it's not like you're retiring or you're going anywhere. You're going to be around for quite a bit. So I think the best way is for you guys to follow her on social media and see her journey and find out whenever she comes to America and get your tickets. Even if you're in England or wherever, make sure you're coming up to the shows to support her.
Make sure you're getting a picture with her because you never know where she's going to be.
And last but not least, my dad says, since you said WWE, which show you see yourself headlining for all the women, NXT, Raw, or SmackDown?
Personally, I feel like I used to watch Raw the most, so I feel like that'd be pretty cool. But if I end up anywhere related with WWE, I will be happy. That's anywhere, so I'd be very happy.
I mean, that's like everywhere, so you'll be known everywhere. Yeah. Sabrina,
what's up?
You want to do the outro or anything?
Yeah, I can do the outro. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this right now. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Annabelle, for joining us, and taking time out of your busy day to come on to us. And we're so excited to be branching out to you, and can't wait to see where you go. So then tonight, guys, at 8:00, we have Izzy McCoy coming on. So make sure you tune into that. That'll be an exciting time. 2 in 1 day. Who are we? That's crazy. But before we go, we have one more question from her dad, and it says, when you become champ,
do you want to change how the title looks?
No. We personally have how it looks. I think that looks pretty cool.
There you go.
You heard it here, and it looks good. I wouldn't change anything that looks good. So make sure you guys are following her and joining us later, and we will see you tonight at 8:00. Bye, guys.